I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about constructive self-talk. Now, we did a presentation not that long ago about self-talk, and so Margaret decided that she better do a follow-up for you guys, and I think this can really help you with dealing with the struggles that we have internally on how we feel about things.
I think this is powerful stuff, which is why I have followed up. Also, a couple of people I talked with in the last 2 weeks reminded me that I said I would follow up. So I don't want to disappoint. All right, now you will recall, if you listen to the first presentation, we have learned from the study of neuroplasticity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that big word mean? It means that our brains are very pliable, and they will think what we ask them to think. So if we repeat things enough times, our brains will create new pathways where they will learn new material. And I read the work of a man named Dr. Helmstetter, who's a PhD psychologist, and he has done research on this stuff since the 80s. And I think it's quite powerful. So he suggests some of the following specific things about relationships that you say to yourself. If you want to take notes, it's hard to do because I took notes to get this material. But remember, you can play it back, so don't make yourself nuts.
Okay. So these are specific things that you want to tell yourself in a relationship.
Yes. Okay. So suggestion number 1. The overall theme is positive life, positive relationships. That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay? And you can address yourself as I, or you can talk as if you were outside yourself and say you. Okay?
Did it say which might be more powerful?
What is clear is he recommends doing a little of both because you want to believe it and you want to assume that it is the feedback you get from others. Okay?
Have you ever noticed that when people are in interviews, they instead of saying I, they say you?
Yes, I have noticed.
Especially like sports figures.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll be like, you want to do this and you want to do that?
Yeah, you want to do this, yeah. It's kind of the general thing. It's not I. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when you're in this kind of situation.
Yeah.
They don't say when I'm in this kind of situation.
When I'm in this kind of situation.
It's interesting.
Which would be better, actually. You should point that out, Craig.
I do find that. I've noticed that with like managers or players. When they get
what you
interviewed.
want to do is, I got it. All right. Suggestion 1. I love, enjoy, value, and take time for relationships.
Okay. Say that again.
I love, enjoy, value, and take time for relationships.
Okay.
That's what you're saying to yourself.
All right.
I am friendly, and I let it show. Because I guess if you're friendly and you don't look friendly, nobody's going to say hi. Okay. You never impose your wishes or opinions on others. Think about people who are easy to approach. You know, they're always likable. They're always kind of low-key. They give you a smile. They're the same every time you see them. So you're going to let it show. And you're never going to push anybody with your agenda.
Like telling them they shouldn't do something.
That's right. I can say yes to others with whom I have a relationship, and I can also say no. And that is, I'm friendly and agreeable, but I'm not going to let you push me around.
It's so important.
Okay, yes it is.
It's really important that you don't let people push you around, because if they do, they won't respect you.
That's right.
And if they don't respect you, they're not going to love you.
Exactly. Now, this is Dr. Helmstetter's words, and I'm sure they're very carefully chosen. But I don't think it's rocket science, and I think if we work with this for a while, we'll kind of get the hang of it, of how to phrase things in a way that our unconscious may register. Because remember, we say that we were programmed by our families of origin long before we were old enough to know what we wanted to be programmed to. And that manifests itself on all the negative things we say about ourselves. I tripped. Oh, I'm so clumsy. I can't remember her name. I've always been terrible with names. Those are beliefs we've brought with us, and they're negative things. And this is designed to kind of undo some of that, or at least to put in some new input. Okay? Suggestion 2, creating relationships that work. I deserve the love, friendship, and joy that relationships bring me. Okay? I deserve is important. There are kids in this world who've heard nobody's ever going to love you. You're a pain in the neck. All right? I am a better person because of the friendships I create. All right? In other words, I get stuff from having had these relationships. I get input. I get emotional support. It's good for me. I invest in relationships, taking the time to build and keep them. And it keeps reminding us that it's easy to be too busy to focus on relationships. So we want to fight that.
Investing in a relationship is so key.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that a lot of people really feel guilty about is that they didn't invest in their relationship when they had it.
Enough. Right. I hear that frequently too.
Yeah.
So I invest in relationships, taking the time to build and keep them. Establishing a relationship is a risk, but has positive result.
Yep. A relationship is a risk.
Yeah.
And every time you take that risk, you're risking heartbreak.
Absolutely. And I thought, all I could think of was the Simon and Garfunkel song, I am a rock, I am an island.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that reminds me of an avoidant attachment style
Absolutely.
person. Yeah.
But the line goes, if I hadn't loved, I never would have cried.
Yep.
All right? So it's always a risk. Always. But it's worth it. And it's important to remember that.
That's a good song. Check that one out.
Oh, it is, if you don't know it.
Simon and Garfunkel, I Am a Rock.
I am a rock. I get along with others, and others get along with me. You want to be known, particularly in a work situation, that you're easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think it's helpful to be unapproachable, that you'll have fewer problems, but they will come back on you in another form. I tried it. Okay? I recognize my needs and the needs of others. We all have needs.
That's so important.
Yes.
Both of those.
Right.
I have needs, they have needs. And you have to realize that if you're not aware of your needs, you're going to be unhappy.
Right.
And if you're not aware of your partner's needs and meeting those needs, that they're going to look to get them met somewhere else.
That's exactly right. Yeah. All right. Suggestion 3, making relationships better. I take time to spend with the people in my life. I smile at people and they smile back at me. I feel challenged by some people who look especially grumpy, and I keep smiling at them until they have to respond. I've never been hit by anyone, but I'm certainly risking it. You know, sort of like, you're going to smile at me or I'm not leaving you alone. I guess I'm imposing my will on them, like I said I wouldn't do in the last section. I choose to be friendly, and I let it show. I appreciate the time that other people spend with me, and I let them know it. And that's important. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And you know, we don't really think about that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Do you?
No. You know, you don't think to say, hey, I appreciate that time we spent together. Yeah, it's really powerful.
Yeah. I take time to be thoughtful and considerate. Now that's a lost art out there. You know, think about the workplace. How many people do you know that you work with that you'd say about them, oh, Joe, he takes time to be thoughtful and considerate. Okay? I take time to remember dates and occasions that are important to other people. If you remember somebody's birthday, they'll be your friend for life. Trust me. Or I remember that you always enjoy Halloween. Have you decorated your office yet? Yep, those kinds of things. My relationships work because I work at making them work.
Oh, that's so true.
Right. It doesn't just happen automatically. Right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just get into a relationship, and because they enjoy being around that person, they assume that it's going to work.
Yeah.
There are a lot of components to a relationship.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
And one of the other things people don't do is ask for feedback. Is this working for you? Did you enjoy what we did today? Would you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah, get some feedback sometimes if you're not sure.
We're so caught up in our own needs that we
Right.
don't think to ask for
Exactly.
feedback. Or maybe we're afraid of what they'll say.
Well, we got to hear it. But if we ask them nicely, they're not going to say, listen, stupid. I don't think so. I work at making my relationships better, never taking them for granted.
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
Oh man, that's a whole book.
That's the
Yeah.
first thing I think we do when we're looking at a breakup.
Yep. Yep.
Is, taking them for granted and
Yep.
yeah.
And people are honest about that. I got comfortable. I was taking him or her for granted. And you always want it to be moving. You don't want stagnant.
No.
I mean, you need peace and quiet to get everything done that you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to be just sort of half there with each other.
Yeah.
I give relationships strength and vitality.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing to say. I bring strength and vitality to my relationships. I'm not just sort of passive about it, I do it.
Now, did they have a suggestion as to when you should say these things to yourself?
Yes, they had a number of suggestions, and they say that if you do it daily, or almost daily, for about 3 weeks, you really will see an improvement. And I mean, you can write them down and read them to yourself. They even suggest playing them in the background while you get dressed, while you do something else automatic, while you do the dishes. Mm-hmm. And they're saying as long as your ears hear it and it gets to your brain will take it in. Your brain will do what you ask it to do.
Here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Why not set an alarm on your phone every day so the alarm goes...
What a good idea.
Several alarms
Yes.
throughout the day, and you take
Right.
maybe 5 or 6 of these, and throughout the day your alarm goes off and it keeps telling you the positive affirmation. You sit there
What a great
and you
idea.
read it. Yeah.
What a great idea.
Because I was thinking, what would be a good way? Sticky notes would be one
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
That'd be another.
Yep. But apparently regularity makes a difference. And it takes a while to build the new neural pathways.
Ah, interesting.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and because anything like this is a process again, and things take time
Yeah.
when they're a process.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But this sounds like extremely powerful stuff to me, or I wouldn't be spending this time on it or sharing it with you. So let's hope it pans out. I believe it will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
If Margaret believes it, believe.
I'm hard to convince.
She is very hard to
I
convince. You should say.
I
You
could
think
be-
your ex is stubborn.
I might be a tad opinionated around some clinical issues, but I would only share that with Craig. You won't tell, will you? All right, suggestion 4, success with people. I choose to be successful with relationships. I am good with people, and it is a natural way for me to be. Okay? Mm-hmm. I get along with others in every area of my life. I get along well with others, and they get along well with me. I give relationships my best, and I get the best from them. I listen well. I take the time to listen. And there's one of the biggest things in the world. Listening is kind of a lost art. We're always in a hurry. We have an agenda to get done. We need to communicate with somebody.
Yeah.
But just listening sometimes is a huge gift to people.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because there's probably not a lot of people in their life that will listen.
Right. Right. And why do you think people go to therapy? I mean, there are many reasons, but simply for somebody to really listen to what they're saying by itself is helpful. Okay? I am genuinely interested in other people, and they are interested in me. Okay? I'm genuinely interested in other people, and they are interested in me. If you're really interested in someone, think they might be a nice person, have an interesting life story, that's a real gift. That's a real gift.
Yeah.
I give relationships my best, and I get the best from them. I think I said that before. I am an interesting person, I have an active mind. Okay?
So these are really good. And if there are certain ones that you struggle with or certain issues, I would recommend focusing on those. Right?
Sure.
Because we all have certain areas that we don't feel so secure about or good about.
Absolutely.
You know, I talk about this kind of in the video that I did a long time ago, focusing on what you want. And the brain really does focus on the things that we think about.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
And so you want to try and put things in a positive way for yourself. Because if you say, I don't want this to happen, a lot of times you cause it to happen. Right? So if you say, don't get into an accident, what does your brain hear?
Get into an accident.
There you go.
Or don't think about pink elephants. You'll have a tough time not thinking about pink elephants.
Exactly.
But we're being very clear here with our brain. I choose not to think about pink elephants. Yeah, you know?
It's tough.
But I am interested in what they have to say. Yeah.
So hopefully you found this helpful, and that maybe you could try setting an alarm or some post-it notes, or writing down some of these on a paper beside your bed, reading it in the morning and then at night before you go to bed, and see how you're feeling after, 3 weeks?
About 3 weeks, he says, before there's actually a change. And he has these on all kinds of subjects, and if this is helpful, I can do several other subjects for you, if you like.
Cool.
I hope it wasn't too boring. All right, and that's all I have to say about that.
All right. So, of course, when you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, and sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching, and I do Skype. Margaret is also available for Skype coaching.
Yes, I'd be happy to hear from you, and we can talk to ourselves if you like.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to sign up with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.